out. Harry flips lid over Home Office's decision to deny his protection forever after betraying RF. Prince Harry was denied to pay for his private protection by the UK Home Office that has no comparison to taxpayers-funded police security, a security expert said. It's no secret that Prince Harry has been eager to take wife Meghan Markle and children Archie, 2, and Lilibet, 7 months, back to the United Kingdom for a visit. But one element of the trip that's been standing in the way is security. Security expert Richard J. wrote that there is no comparison between the private police protection the Duke is using in the US and the government-provided detail the UK can offer. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle saw their security arrangements completely overhauled after announcing they were stepping down as working members of the royal family in 2020. The Director of Operations for Mobius International Security told Royal US, cost alone shouldn't be based solely on his role within the family and the taxpayers funded that service, besides the fact that Harry has now removed that argument in its entirety. He's offered to pay police protection so the UK government can't turn around and say the UK taxpayer isn't actually now going to fund this because you're no longer providing a service to the people. Now he has offered to pay for it in its entirety, so when you have to make a comparison between the private sector and the UK, and that of the government-led provision, there is no comparison whatsoever. And we're not just discussing the differences between manpower from a government police protection provision and that sort of private sector. He added, if Harry came home to the UK and he received private sector-only security, that security is compounded by not only the lack of competence and performance on the ground generally by those individuals but also the fact that you don't have the usual intelligence flows. But on top of that, which is probably the most influential aspect over all of them, is the fact that they don't have the law on their side. So police put a police provision of protection to someone in the UK, because they have the power of the law, they can create sterile and secure areas, they can prevent access by the civilians on the ground venues. They can control traffic flow and they can go whatever speed they like, they can stop traffic. I mean, just this in itself reduces the risk to threat quite considerably. Mr. H continued, in terms of cost and his role, those arguments don't really balance well with the current situation. In terms of risk, there's an argument that the government says that now he's no longer a member of the royal family, his risk is now lowered. And I would actually argue, on the contrary, it has actually increased by virtue of the fact you have removed police protection from him. So his risk on the ground is increased exponentially in comparison. You can't, especially in the UK, make a comparison between a government provision close protection and that of a private sector. So, how much would Harry and Meghan have to pay for private security, rather than relying on UK taxpayers, in order to make the trip across the pond? It's very difficult to put a figure exactly on it, Richard H., the Director of Operations for Mobius International Security, shared with Us Weekly. The cost for a personal protection officer from the Metropolitan Police has been estimated to be around £100,000 a year. Just to add a little more context, £100,000 a year equates to roughly $134,445.60, not exactly cheap. H also revealed that the estimate could considerably vary depending on certain elements, particularly that of Harry and Meghan's 2 young children, along with flight accommodations, and more. What may appear as a wish on paper is far more in reality, and the costs can certainly be quite huge, H further explained. Prince Harry has argued that private protection in the US doesn't have jurisdiction or access to UK intelligence, which was imperative to keep his family safe in the UK. It was imperative to